All right, everybody, we're back again. It's October the 11th, so it's been a little bit since my last video. I was planning on touching on the predictions here last week, but the week before I started to get kind of a delayed head cold because I started feeling it kind of early in that week, and then I was like, well, allergies, it was kind of an allergy thing too, so I was like, I think we're fine, but still, by like that following Sunday of last week, my voice was like 100% gone. So I was like, oh, that's just, yeah. So I was like, let's recover first and not sound like crap for one of the early videos this season. So anyways, so that all being said, I think relatively this video should be quicker today. Fingers crossed, right? Because I'm sure you guys love to hear me prattle on for an hour and 45 minutes. But anyways, that being said, I'm seeing here, at least on Gold Derby, you can predict the Golden Globes and the Screen Actors Guild Award nominations. I'm going to wait probably like another week or two before I do a video on that, just to kind of, I don't know, just to kind of wait a little bit longer. Because sometimes we do hear, you know, some stuff about which category they're going to go into, comedy, musical, or drama at the Globes. As we've seen recently, we've seen some shakeups in whether somebody's going lead or supporting. So, yeah, I'm just going to wait a little longer on that, just, you know, another week or so, maybe closer to 2 weeks. We'll see. We'll see how busy it gets here, but yeah. So I wanted to just really focus on some Oscar changes here. Yeah, so there's been a couple changes here and there. Let's see, I'm going to remind myself here. New York Film Festival is underway, if not already completely completed here. I needed to pull up the dates again because I'm like, okay, when is it again? You know, like the dates here and stuff. But October 16th. Yeah, okay. I thought we were still doing it, but yeah, like Till premiered there, and I think, unless they had just like a screening or something like a day or two before or something, because it was right around the start of the festival, I think, is when the reviews came out, and I was like, at first I thought it was an early screening, and then they premiered it at the festival, but on top of it, but I don't know, my math might be a little wrong on that. But anyways, regardless, we might talk a little bit about that too. But still, largely I think today we should be fairly quick about some of these changes. I'm still just for now going to keep it to the top 8 categories here at the Oscars. Maybe next time we touch on this, we might expand a little bit into some of the tech categories outside of very early, you know, easy picks. You know, like we've talked already about, like Top Gun getting an editing probably front runner status, or cinematography probably including stuff like The Fabelmans and Empire of Light and some of those, you know, very famous cinematographers, you know, getting in again and stuff like that. But first order of business, I was just a couple days late just because Amazon's thing was being a bitch, but here we go, folks. It's the second book. This time we actually got the name on the cover. As a second-time published author, yeah, you figure out those mistakes as you go, I think. But this is Battle of the Benshidi. Benshidi, not Benshadi, as my computer wanted to keep calling it. And there's my lovely face. But yeah, that one is now available for order on Amazon. You can order it for paperback or for the e-edition. And if you haven't gotten it yet, here's Rise of the Deadman, which is the first book in the series. Definitely read this first before you jump into the second one, because right off the bat, the second one gets into like some of the immediate aftermath of the first book, and it spoils virtually every surprise that comes in that first book. And there's a couple surprises, for sure. So, absolutely, I'll put a link in the description of the video there. For probably just for the second book. You can probably find the first book in there as well if you haven't gotten that one yet. If not, some of my older videos have the link as well, so I'll do a little self-promotion there. And I'll say maybe for my next video there might be more promotion for it. Just wait. I don't have 100% confirmation yet on it, so I don't want to promise something and then end up not delivering on it. So yeah, we'll just say there's maybe something else exciting, like legit, like for me, like wow, okay, that might be something cool that might happen as far as that goes with the second book. But again, I'm not going to promise something that I'm not 100% sure is going to happen yet. So we'll leave it at that. But still, just to get that out of the way. All right. So New York Film Festival really till and I'll look this over one more time really fast just to make sure I'm not missing anything else. But I believe till is the only like major like previously unseen film that was going to show at New York Film Festival here. So really quick, I'm just going to pull up those reviews again because last I checked it was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I forget, it's with 2 L's. 1 second, I thought it was just one. Very smart. But no, last I checked it was 100%. It still remains at 100% based off of 26 reviews, so that's good. When I first checked it, it was like 10, so I'm like, okay, well, 10 people like it. All right, that's fine. And generally speaking, I think for the average rating here, I thought it was 7.6, which is anything 7.5 and above. I think you can generally say are generally favorable reviews, or even you could argue great reviews at that point. And basically everyone's just like, dude, Danielle Deadwyler is a knockout in this. Like, very much is somebody that we can include in the discussion for sure for Best Actress. And it's that category has become more crowded now with Michelle Williams all of a sudden contending in lead. So we'll have more to say to that for sure when we get to Best Actress. But yeah, otherwise, I don't think we've seen a big shift or anything from some of the other films. Let's see, She Said, I believe, is the only other one. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it. And I believe, is that one, maybe that one has not screened yet. I don't think it has, no. Okay. And that one is screening which day? The 13th. Okay, so Thursday. So I'm a little early on that. So we can probably get into the reviews on that one next time. But yeah, I looked at it really quick. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Yep, that's right, She Said. And I'm personally, I'm a firm believer in that film being one to watch for. Very much just in the way it's coming out, in the time it's coming out. This very much feels like a modern-day equivalency of All the President's Men. And I get a feeling when the reviews come out, we're going to see more than one or two critics compare it to that, fairly or unfairly. We'll see. But because it's a pretty All the President's Men is a pretty terrific film. For me personally, I read the book first, and then I saw the film, and I was still, with all the names being thrown around, I was still a little like confused until you get to some of the more major names going on there that were involved with Watergate and that were on Nixon's staff and stuff. Then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I recognize this name. Henry Kissinger, you recognize, obviously, and you recognize, it was on the tip of my tongue a second ago. Huntsman? No, no. I thought it was an H name, but yeah. Regardless, yeah, you still. You can still catch those, and that's fine. But still, yeah, I feel like otherwise that's really until we get She Said. I think New York Film Festival is really just rescreening films like Armageddon Time and White Noise and Tar, which is out for general release now, and actually did very well, I think, in its limited run here in the first weekend. There's Women Talking has. Already screened. Bones and All has already screened. So, so let's go ahead and get into the predictions here real quick. And let's, for fun, let's start with the screenplay categories and work our way up. We'll do it that way. Okay, so from last time, I think the only change I've made, I believe this was a change from last time, is I've kicked out White Noise, just because that one seems to be really struggling to get traction right now. We'll see. I think probably if it competes in the comedy musical categories at the Globes, I think it has a better chance of kind of gaining something there, and then we can see if it can kind of build from there. But otherwise, it seems like Netflix, I feel like they're going to go all in on Glass Onion. So I have Glass Onion now getting one of the adapted screenplay spots. So my 5 right now, in order of most likely to least likely, would be Women Talking, She Said, The Sun, The Whale, and Glass Onion. So all relatively shorter titles, 2-word titles. but yeah, White Noise would also be 2-word title as well. Again, I'm not very confident in films like Top Gun Maverick getting in here. I feel like some other kind of outside contenders like Bones and All Quiet on the Western Front, and Living, some of those, I don't know if they have a bunch of steam in this category yet. Bones and All especially, I feel like that one needs to, I think, get a little more attention in some of those other top categories, like potentially Best Actor or a Supporting Actor, possibly Director, something like that before I think Screenplay comes in. Just because I think these other contenders are much more solid in the Best Picture chances there. Maybe minus The Sun, because that one did very much disappoint at its early festival bows here, but still, and even though The Whale, I think, critically, started kind of, mid-60s to low 70s, and then it bounced up, and now I believe it's back down in that 60s% range. I'm going to triple-check that now, because that one might have... Oh, not that one. What the heck? That's not what I wanted. Test Movie 2 from 2090. I think that's a glitch on Rotten Tomatoes. All right. For The Whale, though, I thought it was back down in the high 60s, low 70s range again after it had the TIFF showings, at least. 71, okay, yeah, so it's still in that range then. Yeah, which generally, I think that one is going to be safe for, this category, some of the acting categories, and Best Picture probably, but beyond that, I wouldn't say it's got a great shot at film editing or anything else. Possibly makeup. We'll see about makeup. Depends on how much there actually is, or how much of it was just weight gained by Brendan Fraser. In the original screenplay category, the 5 I have are Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Banshees, Babylon, and Tar. I'm just going to call it Banshees just until I hear it enough times that I can pronounce it right. The full title. So last time I had, what was the other one? Amsterdam. Yeah, that's right. I was a big fan of Amsterdam early on, and then the fact that we just kept hearing nothing, I started bumping it, and then the reviews started coming out, and now we're like, oh, nope, that's probably not going anywhere. And there's a lot of articles about David O. Russell's history on set, working with actors, which is documented for sure. If you see the some of the stuff with I Heart Huckabees, him and Lily Tomlin going back and forth, it's like, yikes, yeah. Funny though, it's weird because he's kind of a modern day kind of Jonathan Demme though. The way it's like every film comes out and he's got 1 or 2 actors in each film that just have that Academy Award level performance in them. Even if the rest of the movie is just okay or has fits and starts, it's like he consistently does that with actors. David O. Russell does. But now with Joy and with Amsterdam, that's 2 big critical flops in a row, and seemingly 2 box office disappointments in a row. I'll need to remind myself, Joy, I don't think made very much at the box office. If you go back to Silver Linings Playbook and you go back to American Hustle, both of those did well. Started limited and then just grew and grew and grew, and both did very well. Joy still did over 100 million worldwide. Production budget, what was it? About 50 to 60 million, somewhere in there, I think. Okay, so it probably did a little better than break even, not by a ton though. So, I would say modest performance at the box office on that one, but critically, yes, definitely was not a great day for David O. Russell and crew. And for me, yeah, I came out of that one like that was one of the biggest disappointments of that year. Absolutely. But yes, this one, I still do want to see Amsterdam, and I was planning on seeing Don't Worry Darling either last week or possibly this week. I might get to it tomorrow. If not, I might have to choose between that and Amsterdam if they're both kind of be in the theater just for a limited time. But anyways, I'll try to get to both of those. Tar I'm putting in, it critically has done very well. Now box office, early showings has been great, so yeah. Let's see. Again, I think original this year is a more competitive category. You've got Triangle of Sadness, some people are vying for. Empire of Light has a few votes in there. Bardo. Some people still think Nope could surprise us. WGA, I think, would definitely be a big turning point for that one. Till and The Woman King are going to be contending in original. So if some of those, either one of those 2 kind of surprise us with maybe more bigger aspirations for Best Picture or something, then we'll see. But that's what I got for original. To the acting categories now, supporting actress with Michelle Williams out. That kind of, I don't want to say leaves this category up for grabs, because I don't necessarily think that's true. Jessie Buckley early on I had in, and then I took her out in favor of, I think, either Sadie Sink or Vanessa Kirby or Jean Smart or somebody like that. But I have her back in now, just in the front runner position for now, because I feel like Women Talking, if it gets screenplay and it can get an acting prize, okay, now you're on the trajectory where you could be potentially a Best Picture winner, which is certainly something to look for. And she was a nominee last year. One I probably should have put in. It made sense, especially when I was watching the performance. I remember I was just so like, dude, she's the real breakout of this movie. And she was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I've got Claire Foy in second place here. Remember, Claire has had some trouble before. First Man, even though she got in, maybe not everywhere, but she got a good number of industry support for that one. Even when the film itself wasn't doing so hot, she couldn't get in for that. This time she's got a vehicle, Women Talking, that seems like it's going to be maybe not like a double-digit nominee, but certainly could be, a 7, 6, 7, 8 category type nominee there. So I have both of them in 1 and 2. Stephanie Hugh I still have in there for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Or is it Sue? Stephanie Sue. It could be a silent H. Again, once I hear it pronounced more than one or two times, I'll be able to get it right. Sadie Sink I have in 4th for The Whale. And then Carrie Condon I'm putting in for Banshees right now. Really just based off the really strong word of mouth and the fact that McDonough, especially last time, he got his actors in. Even early on, I think a lot of us doubted Woody Harrelson getting in for 3 Billboards, but he kind of showed up there a couple times, and we're like, okay, makes sense. And he was there on Oscar morning. And especially if Banshees is a big hit, especially in the actors branch, I can see them. Even though she's not a super known name, Carrie Condon, I still think they can get her in there for sure. Hong Chow has also gotten a lot of great praise for The Whale, so I would say watch out for her. I would still say Vanessa Kirby is a known commodity and stuff. If The Sun bounces back, if some of the different awards bodies look at it and just really like it, I can see her or Laura Dern getting some nods through the season. Let's see here. I wouldn't totally write off Jean Smart either, even though I left her out here for now. But I feel like that's kind of... Otherwise, we're getting into some kind of more long shots right now. But we'll see. We'll see. In the supporting actor race, the 5 I have are still Ke Huy Quan up front for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've Ben Whishaw in for Women Talking. Paul Dano in 3rd for The Fabelmans. I'm hanging on to Woody Harrelson for now for Triangle of Sadness. I booted De Niro, and who was the last one I booted before this? Anthony Hopkins I had in there before, but now he's gone. I have Brendan Gleeson in there now for Banshees. Because I think early on there was a real question there of whether he and Colin Farrell were both going to go lead, or if one of them was going to go supporting. This, I think, is the smarter result for sure. Brendan, he's been a really terrific actor through the years. Everything from big budget films like the Harry Potter series and a couple other ones there like Edge of Tomorrow, all the way down to some of the smaller stuff like this, and working with McDonough before on in Bruges and stuff. It just makes, and especially if it's a movie that the Academy is going to go for, and especially the acting branch is going to go for, again, Brendan, I think, can definitely get in. And he's also been doing pretty well on some of the TV projects he's been doing lately. Like there was one he played Trump in. I think it was The Comey Rule or something. I believe he got in for most everything that year. So, especially when we get to like SAG and stuff like that, that is, I think, even more of a sure bet, I think, for him. Because again, he's kind of one of those actors that even though he hasn't gotten a lot of Oscar attention up to now through his career, it's like he's kind of worked with everybody. So I can see, especially if he's got a good role in Banshees here in a film that they're going to be watching, that feels like a sure thing to me. Let's see. So I don't have Judd Hirsch in right now, who really I think his candidacy began after the screenings began at TIFF there. And I feel like he's really close. Woody, I probably should switch this so that Woody's in 5th and that Brendan's in 4th at least. So, because I think Judd Hirsch is like right there. I think he's like right there, and I'll probably over time I'll figure it out. Just right now, I think Woody I have in there just more for the name thing, and not to say that Judd Hirsch is not a known name at all, of course, but we'll see. And it's just I don't know if we're gonna have for the first time in a long time 2 films get 2 actors into the same acting category in the same year. In this case, 2 from Women Talking and 2 in supporting actor for The Fabelmans. And on top of it, remember Spielberg, especially in acting wins, he doesn't usually get acting wins. Mark Rylance and Daniel Day-Lewis are his only 2 through a near 50-whatever-year career. And I can't really think of a time in his career where he got somebody into 2 actors into the same acting category for any one film he did. He's gotten, like in Lincoln, he got 3 actors in. I want to say there was one other one where it was about that. Color Purple. Color Purple, that's true. Color Purple got 2 supporting actresses in. That's right. Good thing, yeah. I had to go through his filmography in my head for a second there. Okay, so that's one example. But, boy, and remember that one went 0 for 10. So, not to say The Fabelmans will, but wow. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Schindler's List couldn't get anybody into, Ben Kingsley, I think, had to have been close that year, though, to get in for supporting actor. Both he and Ralph Fiennes, I think, really had a shot at getting the 2 in the same category there. But, yeah, and it's like we didn't really get nobody nominated in supporting actor for Saving Private Ryan or anything like that. So, yeah. So I'm a little trigger shy on that just because of that. But then again, we do actually have, one example, though. Let's see. Some people are still... personally, I'm not high on Babylon anymore after the trailer, but Brad Pitt, possibly. Michael Ward for Empire of Light, at least from the trailer and his role in the film and stuff, yeah, I can see him getting maybe like a SAG nomination or something. I can see him maybe getting in there. Jeremy Strong has gotten some good buzz for Armageddon Time, and that one, again, I feel like that one also, like White Noise, is really just not getting much traction right now. It's the other way. Speaking of Mark Rylance, actually, I think his name popped up a couple of times for Bones and All for some of those early screenings. So we'll see. They couldn't get anybody into supporting actor last time for Luca's last film, even though they probably should have gotten at least one. Michael Stuhlbarg still. That's just, he was so damn good in that. But still. All right. So now for Best Actress, Michelle Williams is now in the hunt for The Fabelmans now, in lead actress. Which, unfortunately, Michelle, I think this was a real shoot yourself in the foot moment here. Possibly shit the bed moment. This is probably not the smart move right now. Now, that's obviously we could be eating our words here in a couple months if she starts winning the Globes and Critics' Choice and SAG. If she just starts sweeping everything, okay, obviously, yeah, we can eat our words then. On paper right now, though, I think she could have easily carried supporting actress this year. She could have just won it, and it could have been very much a Viola Davis situation from Fences, where it's like, hey, do you want the supporting win or the acting nomination, as many people put it that year. And I agree, that's exactly the right call here. In this case, I have Michelle in third. I don't really, at this point, with Michelle Yeoh and with Cate Blanchett also in this category, and they're not moving, they're definitely lead performances. I haven't seen The Fabelmans yet. I guess I'm not sure, having not seen the film yet. It is possible that maybe she would have been kind of some category fraud going on there if she had been in supporting. I don't know. I didn't read too much press after the screenings that said, oh, she has a lot more screen time than we thought. I didn't pick up much of that. So from what I understand, it's one of those it could go either way type of roles as far as screen time and everything goes. But yeah, I don't think this was a smart move. I just don't think it was a smart move. I think they really could have, if they had kept her in supporting, I think that would have been, for a win, definitely a much better candidacy. In that case. I think she'll very likely still get the nomination. I don't see her getting booted out of this category in favor of some other contenders out there. But at the same time, you could argue, well, this will keep out possibly somebody like a Margot Robbie or a Viola Davis or Ana de Armas or possibly even Carey Mulligan or Jennifer Lawrence, Florence Pugh, somebody who could get a nomination if this is truly more of a supporting role. If, and that's an if. Like I said, there's not too many people that have seen the film yet and everything. So, yeah, we'll... Again, I'm not sure if that was the best decision by Universal and by everybody involved there, but we'll... I don't know. Okay, so yeah, Cate Blanchett I have officially moved out into the frontrunner position now. Michelle Yeoh in second, Michelle in third. Danielle Deadweiler I have in fourth. And Olivia Colman I'm hanging on in fifth place. Empire of Light, again, reviews have been, low, to say the least. They've been, especially for a Sam Mendes film, I believe last time I checked they were in the 50s on Rotten Tomatoes. But I'm going to see if they've moved since then. Let's see, I don't think so, because I don't know where else it would have screened. 46. Okay, it did drop, maybe even a little more so after maybe the last screening or two at TIFF. But yeah, 46 is not, especially for a Sam Mendes and a film like this, with a kind of high caliber thing going on. It's like, I don't know if that's the result they want. Obviously, it's not the result they wanted, but yeah. And I think right now I just have it because it feels like one of those where it's like, okay, generally speaking, because of its cinematography and some of its more technical aspects, and possibly for Michael Ward too, there's probably going to be enough voters out there that watch this that still say, I'll put her in. And, she's a now 3-time nominee, could be 4. And if it's a movie about movies, yeah, then sometimes that's it. And especially if she's very popular, and again, this is one of the biggest branches of the Academy, the actors branch, then yeah, I can see her still making it. But again, you've got Margot Robbie, you've got Viola Davis, you've got Ana de Armas, Naomi Ackie, who's yet to screen in I Want to Dance with Somebody, Carey Mulligan, who we haven't seen yet, and She Said, possibly Taylor Russell for Bones and All, if that one does have a bit of a comeback here. But yeah, generally speaking, though, yeah, this feels like, okay, Olivia's definitely got to fight off some of those contenders. Viola Davis, though, I think I'm almost sure she's going to get into SAG, because SAG likes stuff that comes out early. So I think it'll have a nomination there. We'll see if she can hold on through the season. So I think she's definitely the 6th place contender right now. I have her in 6th. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, moving on to Best Actor. I don't really think there's way too much change here, except for Christian Bale moving out. So Brendan Fraser I still have out front, then Hugh Jackman, Austin Butler I have in, Colin Farrell for Banshees, and then Bill Nighy I'm putting in, since Christian Bale is out. And I just don't see Christian Bale coming back into this. And really I'm looking at the list here and I'm like, I'm kind of set on these 5 right now. I don't really see anyone else really springing up and surprising us. I think arguably the 6th place contender here is probably Timothée Chalamet for Bones and All. If not, you got to go to Adam Driver for White Noise. If not him, Gabriel LaBelle for The Fabelmans. If not him, probably Tom Cruise. I put him all the way down in like 8th or 9th, I think. Otherwise, a couple people do have If Babylon Takes Off. I guess they're considering Diego Calva to be a lead actor in that. I don't know if he's done anything before. That name is totally unfamiliar to me, so we'll see. But Daniel Gimenez Cacho, who I think a lot of us pegged early to be a contender here for Bardo. Since then, the reviews have been very mixed on that one. Netflix, again, I think they're going to put all their energy into Glass Onion. So I don't really see them backing that one extraordinarily going forward. So yeah, really not much else to talk about that one. Okay, director. Spielberg out front still. The Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Sarah Polley for Women Talking. I have Maria Schrader in there for She Said. And I'm putting in Todd Field now for Tar. Since, again, I have David O. Russell out. So I'm keeping Damien out for now, Damien Chazelle, because I'm just not on board for Babylon. Martin McDonagh, he couldn't get in last time for 3 Billboards, which I think arguably 3 Billboards at this rate at least. At this rate in the season, though, to be fair, 3 Billboards was kind of like a question mark. It was one we had in, but not very high. And then it wasn't until like the end of October, early November, I moved it up. I remember not long after that, what's his name? Tom O'Neill from Gold Derby moved it up, so I always get to claim I beat him to it, because he was one of the first ones to move it up. And then I was like, dude, you stole my thunder. But no, I joke about that. But still, Todd Field, also the fact that he's... this feels like something like that. Like one of those director choices. Again, if it was a 5 Best Picture category, Todd Field I could easily see get in for director, and then Tar is left off the list for Best Picture. Since we have an expanded field now, I think, yeah, you see where I'm getting at here with Tar getting in for picture too. But yeah. But what I was getting to with McDonagh, remember 3 Billboards at the end of the day, right as the race was kind of starting to come up there for the final votes and stuff, there was some backlash coming to the film. But that being said, even though it did have some of those technical nominations coming, possibly like editing, cinematography, score, those were in the hunt. I think it only got cinematography and score. Or did it even get... I don't think it even got cinematography. It was score and... I think score and editing. Or maybe editing. I can't even remember now. But that one had a lot more... it had some aspirations for possibly getting into some of those tech categories. Right now, I don't think Banshees is really playing for any of those, except with the exception of possibly film editing, and that really will ride on how high of a Best Picture contender it is. And again, outside of maybe if it's in for score, which I haven't, I guess I haven't really heard a lot of people, gush about the score yet for it, but I'm assuming it's Carter Burwell who works with him quite often. Otherwise, Gina Prince Bythewood for The Woman King has gotten a couple votes. James Cameron, I think we can't totally 100% discount yet, not until Avatar gets some screenings in. Alejandro Iñárritu for Bardo. Possible. That one, again, is really going to need some help, like a Directors Guild nomination for sure. Let's see here. And I really think outside of that, we can see if maybe Luca or... Darren Aronofsky, maybe for The Whale, possibly could make a push there for director, but right now, I don't think so. Okay, so the 10 I have for Best Picture from most likely, least likely are The Fabelmans, Women Talking, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees, She Said, The Whale, Top Gun Maverick, Tar, Babylon, and I'm putting Glass Onion in now instead of Amsterdam, and I think I booted, it was Empire of Light, I believe I booted as well. Yeah. So, largely, I feel like outside of a couple contenders like Woman King, Empire of Light, Avatar, Elvis, and The Sun, and possibly All Quiet on the Western Front, I feel like this is generally the list that everybody has. I don't really have a lot of people talking, and don't hear a lot of stuff anymore about like Till or White Noise or Amsterdam, especially Armageddon Time. Some of them still being Best Picture contenders there. For myself, I think, Glass Onion, if it, getting that screenplay nomination and the picture nomination, and then maybe we'll see if it can get something else in the tech categories or something. I don't really see anybody right now that seems like a likely actor getting in, especially like those ensemble type pieces like the first one was. I don't think there was really like a standout that you could have really gone for that had a strong shot. And again, they would probably have to end up vying in one of those supporting categories too, but we'll see. So, again, I think of the ones I don't have in that stand a shot, I'd say Empire of Light is probably the next one I would put in. Woman King, I think we can't totally discount. Avatar, we totally can't discount yet. Black Panther, I don't think we can discount yet. Elvis, I would say it probably needs a little more help. It probably needs not only actor, I think it needs more contention in the screenplay category, which it doesn't seem to have right now. If it had another acting potential bid, then we could probably give it a little more credit. And really, Tom Hanks, I have not heard a lot about in supporting actor, and it feels like that's the one you would go to on this one. We'll see about some of the tech categories. Right now, I haven't heard a lot of people say it's an overtly, obvious pick for stuff like cinematography. More like costume design, production design, I can see being an easier fit for Elvis, for sure. But, I feel like it needs a little bit more support before it can get one of those 10 slots. Then again, The Sun, after a disappointing festival season, I don't think that one... Not at this point. I think PGA or WGA, SAG, ensemble nomination, something like that is really going to have to help that one out. And I feel like we're kind of feel like that's about it really right now. It's kind of a good quiet spot right now in the Oscar race. When we get to November, that's when our official like early frontrunners status begins. So that's when you can officially say, yep, you are the early frontrunner. For sure, and kind of go from there. But and then we've got obviously when we get closer to December, then we'll have some of the last predictions coming out for like Globe nominations and SAG nominations and stuff like that. I'm gonna see, do we have the dates yet for when Globe and SAG nominations get announced? if I am reading this correctly, I think Globes will be in December. SAG, we actually have to wait till January. I think theirs was January last year, if I remember. So, yeah, I think that one is potential kind of holdover from last year, where I think they had it maybe not delayed, but they had it a little later, because normally Globes or SAG is first. Critics' Choice will usually be pretty early there in the first couple weeks of December, for sure. But yeah. So we've got some time, obviously, before the season kicks into super high gear. Okay, that's all I got for now. So, yep, I'll go ahead and post this, and we'll, again, advertise the books here. I'll put them side by side. How about that? There you go. First one, and then the second one. There you go. All right, so thanks to all that support that, by the way. Absolutely. Hopefully, for those of you out there who are trying it for the first time, try to grab a copy and see if you can get through it. See if it's good. I haven't heard, because the second book has only been out not even a week yet, but... I haven't heard any bad news yet, so we'll keep it with that. All right, and we'll again hoping by next week we can get another video, and we'll dive into some early Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild predictions.